Welcome to Pick It and Flick It podcast. I'm Natasha.
Vaux.
Welcome to our part 3 of the Halloween extravaganza. Today we watched Hocus Pocus 2.
Well, actually, we watched it last night. But
whatever. Still. Today we're talking about Hocus Pocus 2.
Yes. Jeez. Well, here's the thing. I haven't read anything about this movie. I haven't seen anything about this movie. All I knew is that it was Hocus Pocus 2. And quite frankly, I didn't even watch the trailer. But I didn't...
You never watched the trailer?
No. I didn't even think it was going to be a real thing until I saw the trailer start being thrown out all over the interwebs, right? I just thought it was going to be another one of those, like, they're making a second Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
I want to start by saying that I fell asleep within the first 20 minutes of this movie.
I tried keeping him awake.
And I woke up a few times before dozing back off, and based on that foundation alone, I think my score might be skewed a little bit. However, I will say that it'll be probably in the benefit of the movie that it'll be skewed, because from what I did see, I can only imagine what the rest of it is.
Oh, I really liked it.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
So, from what else, do you want me to start, or do you want to
Go ahead.
Okay. Are you yawning right now? Jesus.
No.
From what I remember, the intro of this movie was just about as obnoxious as it's going to get. And then...
you didn't like the beginning?
And then, let me finish. We jumped forward, and I realized, you know what? The beginning wasn't that bad. Because I would much rather have watched an entire movie with those 3 little girls than the cast of girls that we get after this. Do you remember Winx Club? Remember that?
Yes, I do.
That's what this movie fucking reminded me of.
They have like a new, like a live action, like Winx.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that was on Nickelodeon near the very, very end of my, like, stint with, Nickelodeon.
I thought Winx Club was a cartoon.
It was, but then they did like a live action one, and then there's a new one that's coming, that's out. I think the new one's on Netflix.
Yeah.
But there was a live action one for Nickelodeon. But that's what this reminded me of. Like, really shoddy, terrible acting, like stiff, really stiff like shots. Try to be slapstick funny, but not. Like overachieving with the nostalgic hit, but it's still failing.
I didn't feel like it was too much with the nostalgia.
I mean,
I felt like it was very subtle.
Again, I fell asleep, so
right.
I missed, a big middle chunk of this movie. But that first like span, I was just like, oh God, I know for a fact this is gonna be like, remember this? Remember that?
No. It was so subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
they
funny.
didn't even have the only returning cast
were
the Sanderson sisters.
Yeah. And Billy.
And Billy, yeah. But they didn't have they didn't bring back
the girls or the brother and sister, right?
Yeah, they didn't bring back the brother and sister. They didn't
the boyfriend.
bring back, what's her name, Allison?
Yeah. They didn't even bring back the cat. Come on,
Thackeray
man.
Binks. Well, kind of. There's kind of a hint that the black cat in the shop is Thackeray.
Yeah, but he wasn't talking.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Or Binks, sorry.
Yeah. Well, so my extent of this, like, until I started knowing that I was falling asleep, and what I can remember is when the obnoxious and really bad acted shopkeeper gives a candle to, I don't even know their names.
That's the last thing you remember?
And they summon the sisters, and the sisters come back, and they start singing. And it's like, okay, here we go.
Okay, so her name is Becca. They don't really say, I feel like the movie was so quick that you can't really get to know the characters.
Well, again, I feel like this was supposed to be like a Disney Channel movie night, kind of thing. Halloween Town. You sit down, there's a couple commercials in between, and it's Hocus Pocus 2.
Right, and that would be way better, not better, but I guess more intriguing because it would have been longer and it wouldn't have been just so quick, so fast.
Anyways, so we get, what's her name? I already forget.
Becca.
Got it.
It's her 16th birthday. The shopkeeper, Gilbert, gives her a candle for her birthday. And they take it into the woods, her and her friend. And they start manifesting and doing spells and everything. And then it starts crackling like it's like a, I don't know, trick candle.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden the flame turns black. And that's all you remember?
No, and then I remember the sisters coming out, and like I said, they started singing and doing the whole shtick, and then that was it.
Okay.
That was about it. It was boring. In a movie that starts off stronger than I had expected.
I was not
to.
expecting a backstory of the Sanderson sisters, so that was cool.
Yeah. Started off way stronger than I expected it to, and then immediately loses my attention. I can't invest the time into it. And I was tired to begin with.
Yeah.
We were in a dark basement.
We all had been
drinking, sitting on a comfortable couch. It's a recipe for disaster. I'm just going to say, though, is that, like, again, I would have much rather continued to see the young Sanderson sisters run around and do this whole, how they become witch stick and get in all this trouble. Because in the beginning, when she finally gets Book, and then lights the house on fire, I was like, sweet. And then credits roll, and we're in the fucking future or present day. You know? And I was just like, damn it. And it was funny because I said it one time, but I was like, oh boy, the acting in this movie is going to be terrible. And Ray, our friend Ray that was sitting next to me, under her breath goes, yeah.
Oh.
So I heard her say that. So I wonder what her opinion was, because
she ended up laying on the ground at one point. I think she fell asleep. I don't remember.
Yeah. Anyways.
I don't remember if she
I just remember a couple other things when they were digging up Billy. Oh, it seems, again, they're doing the fucking Marvel Disney thing in this. Like, everything has to be a joke.
Yeah.
Everything's got to be funny.
Well, it is supposed to also be a kid's movie.
Yeah, but the first one, I feel like they got away with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, the first one was definitely like a lot more adult than.
Yeah, so why, if they're supposed to be pandering to millennials who are now in their 30s, why the fuck are they making it a kids movie designated for the Disney Channel? That's what my point is.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about Billy, let's talk about Billy for a minute, is, and this was the thing that I was going to say I remembered because it's got to be funny. What's his name went to go dig up Billy, and he was like, well, that's a shallow grave, He
said that's not 6 feet under.
Don't give a fuck what he said. It was still along the same lines, and you understood what I said. According to what you said, it's the same exact message.
I thought it was funny.
Regardless, I really like Billy. Billy and Binks are my two favorite characters in the first one. They're both sarcastic. They're both like, Billy's fucking dead, and Binks is a goddamn cat. So it's like they're both sarcastic. They're kind of crude. They have this ridiculous humor, but they're good people, and that's why their characters are for me, are able to be related to. One of the lines in the first movie, which I got in trouble for repeating when I was a kid, and I fucking remember this because we were watching it at my babysitter's house when I was really young. But when he comes out and takes the pocket knife and cuts the stitches along his mouth, and he screams at one of the Sanderson sisters, "Go to hell!" And she's like, "No, thanks, I've already been there." I always thought that was really funny because it's showing the edge of Billy, teetering on that I'm a dead guy, but I'm also being, defensive of this young girl and her boyfriend and the cat, right? But also like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I really liked that sense of humor. I really liked that like relationship between him and the Sanderson sisters, and there's obviously some history there, which they kind of delve into in this movie.
Yeah.
But just like, was there even any swearing in this movie?
Not that I
think it's a PG movie,
yeah.
right? The first one's PG-13. I think this is a PG movie.
The first one's PG-13?
I'm pretty sure.
No way.
I'm pretty sure it was. You can look it up. I might be wrong, and if I'm wrong, great. But I just felt like there was this line of like adult pandering, but also having a little bit of a fun Halloween story with the first one. This one is not adult pandering.
PG.
Is it PG?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This one is not adult pandering at all. They're just, again, trying to hit the nostalgic point of view as well as gearing it towards kids. I don't know. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I did not like that.
The director was Kenny Ortega in 1993, and it wasn't the same director.
Well, obviously not.
Why?
Why would they bring back the same director?
They should.
Yeah, I agree with you, but,
why wouldn't they bring back the same director?
Because the same shit just goes on and on. I guarantee Disney was like, well, that movie isn't appropriate now, and there is a little bit of a dark, twisted sense on that. Let's be real. The Witch Hunts in Salem is a dark tale.
Right, so...
But Disney spins it, especially in this movie, to make it a fucking kids movie.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Kenny Ortega directed High School Musical.
Well, I'm glad you brought High School Musical up, because I'm trying to remember all of the more recent, and I'm saying recent, right, with air quotes, because during quarantine, I watched all 3 High School Musicals with you. And
no, you watched them on your own. Don't lie. Don't lie to the viewers. I came home and Vox was watching.
I was dancing in the fucking living room and everything. No. I feel like the acting in those movies are superb compared to this movie.
Yeah.
This was rough. And we're edging into, and that's why I was saying, modern movies, because I didn't grow up watching High School Musical. That was more, you didn't grow up watching it, but it was that was you.
I did grow up watching High School Musical.
How old were you when High School Musical came out?
I was 11 when the first movie came out.
Okay, so I was 12. All right, whatever. I wasn't there. You were. Yeah. I wasn't watching High School Musical. It was geared towards you, right?
Yeah, it was geared towards little girls. Yeah. Preteen girls.
Watching it now in 2020, right? I was like, okay.
There are some corny parts.
No, but
it still holds up pretty well.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, okay.
And I'm sure there's parts that might be a little bit controversial now, because what isn't?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying. Is okay, I totally get why this was popular.
Yeah.
For sure. Was it bad? No, not by any means. Not my favorite movie, right? Obviously, I wouldn't sit down and watch it again.
What?
Or on my own, High School Musical.
Oh, okay.
But this Hocus Pocus 2? Not a fucking chance.
No?
Never will I watch this movie again.
You didn't even watch the whole thing.
Exactly. Don't you think that if it was catching my attention that much and I fell asleep, which happens quite often, even if a good movie, bad movie, doesn't matter, I would want to go back and watch it if it was good.
Yeah, that was my suggestion before we came down and podcasted. I was like, why don't we just watch it again? And he was like, no.
Because again, that first 20 minutes, it's that stepping stone. It's that I relate this bad movies to albums for me. You have 2 or 3 songs, to kind of get me coursed in. If that first quarter of the album isn't good, I'm not going to listen to the rest of it. There might be a hidden gem later on in the album, and not saying that there isn't a good idea or good scenes or good acting or anything in this later on, but again, it doesn't make me want to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah.
So it was a rough one for me.
And it was hard to watch, because Sarah Jessica Parker was
the first one to die, right?
No, they didn't die. They just disintegrated.
Okay, well, whatever. Cast out, but she was the first one to go, right?
She was the first one to start fading, but she's sorry. So she was late 20s in this movie.
28,
in the first movie.
Yeah.
So her acting,
and still good looking.
Yeah, well, she's still good.
Not anymore. No man.
But her acting ditzy and
it worked.
That was fine when she was in her 20s, maybe almost 30s. But now that she's almost 60 years old, it's very cringy to watch her.
And the truth starts to come out.
But I mean, that's probably one of my only complaints. I mean, the acting wasn't great.
What about the mouth twitch switch with the one? She's always got her mouth.
Yeah.
It's on the other side now. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't notice that.
So I did a little bit of research on this morning because I was pissed about the Billy thing. I don't like how he looks, Well,
and then this, it blows my mind that this was created by Disney.
Yeah.
And they have all of this money.
Yeah.
A buttload of money. More money than they know what to do with.
Yeah.
And the CGI in this movie.
Oh, it's terrible.
Absolutely awful.
Yeah.
And then when they...
And that's again why I was saying.
When they had
Disney
Billy...
Channel movie.
So when he took Billy's head off...
And then put it on the
was
table.
CGI, right? Or was that was actually him?
Yeah. It was this a body double kind of thing. So he was in probably a green suit.
Okay. But it was him.
Yeah, it was him.
Okay, it looked CGI to me. It didn't look real.
Well, again, I vaguely remember that. That was one of the portions I woke up because I was like, oh, fucking Billy. I got to pay attention here because I liked Billy.
Yeah.
And, so I wasn't paying too much attention. However, when at the end, when they put his head back on, it looks like it's a quick cut where he was just in the suit without the head, and then when they put the head on, his head's sideways, and then they zoom back out, and it's him, like, adjusting his head.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's fine, but, like, Billy was dirty.
Yeah.
And he was dark. He had, like, rotting, like, dark green skin. He was, like, kind of covered in dirt. And this one, he was, like, almost white.
Yeah, like, grayish, whitish.
Yeah, like he had just been put in the grave.
And,
like, no,
like,
you've been in the grave for so long.
Yeah, even, like, the sewing over his mouth.
It was all messed up.
Yeah, it didn't look...
His hair was wrong. Like, it just... And I get it. Zombies probably don't stay the same in the grave, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. It's the fact is that you're making a staple, and you're bringing these characters back for, again, the nostalgic slap in the mouth, which is all of the wrong things to do. At least have some continuity.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying. The mouth switch. She was like on one side and then went to the other in this one. And I guess they explained this. But like this is one of the critiques that I was reading a lot about. And I guess they explained in the beginning when they were kids. Is it who's the old one? Gertie? Not Gertie.
The old one.
The oldest one. The oldest Sanderson sister. What's her name? The redhead.
Winifred.
Thank you. Gee, who's Gertie? Where did that come from?
I don't... Gilbert is the name of the shop owner. I don't know if you got it from that.
No, Gertie is a female character from some other show. Anyways, she slaps the one who has the mouth thing, who rides the Roombas.
Mary.
She slaps her and then slaps her on again, and I guess every time she slaps her, depending on which way her mouth is looking, it switches. So they adjusted that. The actress who plays her, Mary,
yeah,
she can't do it the way that it was in the movie anymore. Her mouth doesn't allow her to do it. She just like doesn't have the facial muscles anymore.
Yeah, well, she's probably had work done.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, well, I'm sure like as you get older, like you're. Because she was in her mid-20s, or no, 30s when this movie.
Yeah, she's over 60 now.
Yeah, so, like, your skin's not as pliable.
No, for sure. You lose your muscles.
The collagen in your skin and everything, so she probably can't do that. Like,
I'm trying not to beat a dead horse here, but, like, a couple of the other things I had just jotted down as thoughts that came to my mind is the same exact kind of boring and unoriginal bring back like callbacks. Like they walk into and this is another scene I remember, they walk into the Walgreens or Walmart and they're
Walgreens.
they're like shocked by the doors that are opening automatically.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that was what they did in the first movie. Mind you, it wasn't automatic doors, but it was only in the 90s, right? And they were just so dumbfounded by the amount of technology that they had.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot, like, in 29 years,
but
technology has advanced significantly.
I'm not arguing that. I'm arguing the fact that they made that the staple again. Like, that is another shtick that they're bringing back in this movie. And it's like, okay, we already know that they do that. Like, we already know that they were mind blown 30 fucking years ago about technology, and now that's another story plot device that they're again trying to get a stupid slapstick laugh about. I don't know. I was extremely disappointed in just how the structure of the movie was.
I know.
It's just how it is. Our headphones are feeding back. You're just gonna have to get used to it for 2 seconds. I don't know if it's on the recording, but if there's some awkward silences, that's what's happening. Our headphones are freaking out. I think we talked about it for a minute too already, but it's the lack of edge that's in this movie that really pisses me off. That was one of the last notes that I wrote. I mean, again, we had these big kind of teetering, walking on the, I don't know if there's a fine line, where we could get away with a couple of things.
Yeah.
But we didn't want to do too much edgy stuff. But we can get away with it.
But yeah,
in
they
this
didn't
movie,
really
and they didn't do shit.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything.
They're like, the most edgy was like the witch part, which is literally what the movie's about, so it's not even edgy. The boyfriend of Casey Cassie.
The stupid kid?
Yeah, he was funny.
Oh, I did not like him either.
I thought he was funny.
Very forced.
At first, yeah, and that was the thing. Like, but he did some stuff, I don't know.
Yeah, it was
more
very
throughout
forced.
the movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, he plants himself in the fucking storyline right away, and he's just like, I'm stupid. Look at me, I'm stupid.
Yeah.
And it's.
But at the end, he called her friends weird. And he was like, I didn't realize that was insulting. I'm really sorry. Now I have a lot of people to apologize to. And I thought that was funny and sweet.
I'm probably going to get canceled
redeeming.
for this one. But on that note, there was a lot of immediate undertones, like right away, of the sisterhood, feminism movement, inclusion
Feminism?
movement. Yes, there was a lot of
Feminism
in this movie.
Is that a word?
I don't care if it's a word. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And and that's fine. But like these 3 girls that they intro in here, are they even fucking friends in real life? Because
there's no chemistry.
They act like they're strangers. And the thing that, and again, this might get me canceled, but the thing that always makes me laugh now is that there's always a white chick, a black chick, an Asian chick, or a Mexican chick, or something. It's always got to be one of each race, right? We've seen several movies recently, and again, I've said this time and time again, I don't care what color you are, ethnicity you are, sexuality you are, just be a good character.
Yeah.
They like slap this like, wham! We're all different, but we, have to make sure that we're all being included, and you're my sister, no matter what you are, doesn't matter what color you are, doesn't matter what religion you are, we're witches,
Yeah.
There's just like this weird undertone immediately when we see this movie. And then at the end, when the redhead is just like...
Winifred.
Yep, that one. Is like, I'm nothing without my sisters, and it's supposed to be like an moment, but I was just like, oh, fuck, please end. There's 15 minutes. I woke up during the last 15 minutes, and I'm like trying to sit through this.
Well,
please
okay, so
end.
Not really much happens like throughout the movie. It's mostly like the Sanderson sisters.
Yeah, no shit.
Like flying around, doing stuff. They try and hypnotize the town again. They did a different song, which was cool. I was kind of looking forward to hearing "I Put a Spell on You."
I'm glad they didn't do that.
Yeah,
but they did. What's that song? One Way or Another.
Yeah, that was cool.
I woke up during that too.
So, and then the mayor, like, they were trying to kidnap the mayor. They needed a bunch of stuff to get their spell together.
Yeah, and
when she finally. That's the that's the plot of the movie. So they go back and forth, whatever. And then the main character finds out Becca. She finds out she's a witch. It's her 16th birthday. I'm trying to think of.
She finds out she's a witch. Big surprise.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
Right. That wasn't a surprise at all. I'm just trying to think of the rest of the movie. They end up casting the spell. Or Winifred ends up casting the spell, and then her sisters Sarah and Mary start to disappear. Because in like the warning, it says that the thing that you value the most is what you're giving up once you cast this spell.
Right.
And she's like, well, I'm nothing. That's when she says, I'm nothing without my sisters. And they disappear. So is that the last that we're seeing of the Sanderson sisters?
Oh, I fucking hope so.
I would assume so.
But these fucking 3 boring ass characters that they just introduced. The only one who was actually quite interesting, and because her lines were very quippy, and I don't know their names, but I believe she was the Mexican one or Hispanic one. I don't know if she's actually Mexican or not, but because the other 2, the white chick, of course, was the preppy bitch dating the dumb jock, and then the black one was just
her name is Izzy.
Okay. She was the only one that I remember being like, all right, at least her lines are being delivered with some kind of like snooty. She's kind of like, I'm smarter than you are, but you're also my friend, so I'm going to lay this out to you in layman's terms kind of thing.
Well, and I'm on Google. The boyfriend, Mike, is listed before any of the girls.
Well, so much for the feminist fucking undertones on that, eh? So then I just want to read these real quick, and then we'll go into it, because I don't want to beat a dead horse here. But New York Times, shit on this movie.
Oh.
Daily Wire, big surprise, shit on this movie. That's Ben Shapiro's little website or whatever. New York Post shit on this movie.
His first name is Froy.
Froy?
Yeah.
Spell it.
Froy. Like Troy, but with an F.
Oh, Froy. Okay. I just want to read a little clip of this. Hocus Pocus 2 is awful to the core. Charmless and too low stakes to keep any interest of any viewer. Most of the movie is wink-wink references to the old one in a meta moment. There's a period there. In a meta moment, Winifred watches millennial couples as they watch the film on the couch, and the town of Salem puts the Sanderson sisters costume contest in which the trio drag queens from RuPaul Drag Race beat the genuine articles. It's very, like, I don't remember that part, but that's very nail on the head. You know? That... Yikesers.
I mean, I like that there was like very subtle, like there was a costume that was the same from the first movie. The gay couple was watching Hocus Pocus on the TV.
Yeah, that's what these guys are saying is trash, and I agree.
Oh, I don't think that's trash.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
I liked it. I liked the subtle because I feel like
I don't feel like that's subtle.
So many movies do the remakes and it's exactly the same.
We're gonna
or
agree
they throw it in your face like, remember this person, remember that person.
Yeah,
and they didn't do that in this movie.
I disagree. I think that's very on the nose. You know, hit the nail on the head. But that's okay. You know why? Because here at Pick It and Flick It, we're allowed to have two different opinions.
No, mine's the only right opinion.
I would be really interested to hear what Luke's opinion is on this, but he's not here. So, we rate movies two different ways around here. One being a pick, meaning that you should watch it. It was great. You'll enjoy your experience. Even if it's a bad movie, it's still worth watching. Or a flick, in the words of Natasha, we watched it so you don't have to. And I think Luke pointed out that that's actually...
I guess that's from another...
The Nostalgic Critic. But we didn't know that.
Yeah, I've never even...
Yeah, you're good.
Heard of the Nostalgic Critic.
You don't have to explain that to me. I know that. And then we also give it a rating on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. So that way, in case we pick something and we could still say that it was bad, or we could flick something saying it's not really worth the time, but it's a decent movie. So,
right.
Pick or flick?
I'd pick it.
Well, it's a big flick from me.
You did. I feel like you can't flick it. You didn't even watch the whole movie.
I explained this in the beginning. So if you've made it all the way to the end here, this is, again, beating a dead horse. If that first 20 minutes doesn't say, I got to go back and watch this because I'm upset that I missed this movie, then there we go. There's the answer. So I'm flicking it. It's not worth watching the first 20 minutes, let alone the whole fucking movie. Out of 10, I bet I'm going to shock you, but I want to hear what yours is so you can shock me first.
I'm a 7 out of 10.
You're a 7?
Yeah.
Wow. I kind of feel like I knew that was going to be where you landed. Like, I was like, where's she going to go? It wasn't an 8. I know it wasn't
No, the acting could have been better. The storyline could have been better.
CGI could have been better.
Yeah, like
the movie could have been better.
No, I'm very glad that I watched it with my friends and you and not just you.
Yeah.
Because
you probably
would have brought me down.
Yeah.
No, not that I would have hated it. I just wouldn't have had as much fun as I did watching it.
Yeah, and that's fun. It's a 3 out of 10 for me.
What?
This movie was fucking terrible.
It was not.
Everything about it was terrible.
Everything about it was terrible.
I couldn't find, again, aside from the three sisters in the beginning, which still wasn't even that good, but I would rather have watched more of that than what this was. Well, if you
want to watch more of that, then go watch Witch or Vitch, whatever it's called.
Vitch. Oh, yeah, this is another thing that I didn't, I wanted to point out real quick, now that we've already given our ratings. There wasn't a cobblestone in fucking sight in Salem. And we know in the history books that during the Salem witch trials, there were cobblestone streets already. Because they were fucking marching the witches down.
They were just in a little village. They weren't in...
It said Salem in the very beginning. It said Salem.
Yeah.
18 whatever.
1653.
Don't give a shit. Don't care. Thank you so much for listening. If you've made it this far, we are almost done with the month of October. We only have a few more after this. What is this? 7 more after this? 6 more after this?
7 more.
7 more? Yeah. So we're almost there. If you haven't listened to everything that we've reviewed so far, make sure you go back and check that out. We've been releasing one episode every single day in the month of October.
Yeah, and if you get lucky, you might listen to one with Luke on it.
Look for the blue thumbnails.
Yeah.
The blue thumbnails have Luke on it. Other than that, it's just us.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
That's okay. Thank you. Bye.